Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review, and I have a review for you today. Capture the base match on Haven. Yes, in the $2 million green XP ship, the Stalingrad. I just want to say, why not the Petrograd? Everybody forgets about the Petrograd. Leningrad, Stalingrad. What about the Petrograd? Come on. All right. So, further signifying that I spend too much of my life playing this game and or spending money, we have unlocked the legendary tier heavy cruiser Stalingrad. So we're doing what I like to do, backup. This has massive gun range. It only has armor-piercing shells available. So this is my third game in it. And I was like, yo, I need to maintain as much distance as I can. Because in one of my games, I was doing a lot of damage, and I realized it was just me and one other blue team ship left. That's kind of the story of my life in the ship. And all of a sudden, I got absolutely deleted by Yamato from about 3/4 health. So, and he wasn't broadside to me. I wasn't broadside to him. It wasn't like that. So, taking those past experiences into mind, just the one, I decided to back up a little bit here in the middle of nowhere and use this as where I'm going to shoot from. So basically, I got Kuznetsov as my commander. I'm just doing a sniper build. Here's something to think about. These shells have a pretty long flight time, even though it is a relatively flat arc. Aim them a little bit ahead of where you think they're going to be, because in my opinion, the target ships are going to be able to sail out of range rather quickly. Now, by positioning myself bow on all the bad guys, it's relatively easy for me to wildly move my turrets around like I'm actually going to shoot somebody. The turret traverse on this build is about 34.5 seconds. The reload is about 17.6 seconds, I want to say. There you can see, nice bracketing shot. Totally missed the Alaska and did not do a scratch of damage, which I'm not happy about, so I'm aiming at the bow this time, remembering what happened last time. And again, see, he's moving out of the way. Even though you have really good shell arc, nice flat trajectory, they're just very long in the air for some reason. So that's just my opinion. You guys know I don't play cruisers a lot. So we'll take a parting shot at the Alaska, who is turning away, and direct my attention elsewhere. As you can see, we are backing up now because they got a little too close for comfort. All right, looking around, and I'll just say, we only have one destroyer in this match, and he's already dead. So at this point on, we are at a deficit in terms of spotting. And I gotta tell you guys, maybe it's just me, but I have seen more destroyers at the back of the map at the last month of playing this game than I ever have before. So either it's a lot of new players, or it's a lot of players who, quite frankly, have no idea what they're doing. I played some matches in the Lenin today, had some pretty good games, and in one of them, I think a destroyer was basically hiding behind me for 2/3 of the match. So, really just mind-blowing. Here, I think the destroyer got taken out rather early, so I'm not blaming him for anything. Sometimes you make a high-risk play and it doesn't work out. All right, so we are engaging targets as we see them, but as you can see, it's kind of here or there. Not really getting any flat broadsides. I'm worried that this Minotaur is too far behind the island there. You cannot hop these shells over that, at least based on videos I've watched from other people, so I didn't even want to try. All right, so we're looking at this Tirpitz over here trying to flank us. He's at a bad angle. Minotaur's behind an island. All right, we'll shoot at this conch who came out here and see what we can do with the armor piercing. Now, I'm all in on the armor piercing shells in this build. I generally go all in on armor piercing with my Russian cruisers anyway. At least with Kuznetsov. So I don't have anything for HE on the skill tree of his. And I obviously don't have anything in the inspirations. As far as inspirations on this while you're watching the game, I am using Yamamoto and Nikolai von Essen. So Yamamoto increases AP shell pen, and von Essen increases the maximum ricochet angle. So again, we're all in on armor piercing on this build. Alright, so I decided to hit my radar because I'm worried that the destroyer is trying to sneak up on me. As you can see at the very edge of the radar, we spot some torpedoes. I don't know if the battleship saw them before we did or what, but so now I know the destroyer's generally over near the turrets, and we're going to keep our direction over there for a while, as that is the closest ship. Turp is giving us a little bit of the broadside. We will aim that way, and as you can see, that's a pretty good hit for a non-battleship. That was in the Lenin or something, he'd probably be dead, but it was not. But don't be afeared of your ability to damage battleships, and we take him out for our first kill. Alright, looking back, there's an Iowa who's been pretty much bow on all match, and I don't really have a lot of other targets right now that are in range. So we're going to turn to try to avoid these torpedoes, and we're going to start shooting at this bow on Iowa. Now I'm shooting intentionally into the superstructure to avoid his bow. I don't know if I could go over the bow or not. Some of those shells are aimed a little bit lower, but I'm intending for them to go over the bow and into the deck plating of the Iowa. Alright, and as you can see, the blue team is putting up hell of a fight. I have the only kill for our team, and we lost 4 people, and I have just under 50,000 damage, and I can't really see anybody. Alright, so this Iowa's going to come back up. We'll just keep shooting. Again, he's not giving us a great angle to look at there, so I'm just trying to do what I can. Alaska moving in over here. So Alaska reworked might be, I guess, the American counterpart to the Stalingrad, and I have to tell you, as much as I think the Alaska is a good heavy cruiser, I really like the Stalingrad a lot better. You know, I mean, I don't know if you have the Stalingrad or not, but surely most of the guys watching my channel have the Alaska, and it is a nice heavy cruiser, but I don't think it can do everything with its guns that the Stalingrad can do. On the other hand, the Alaska might be slightly more maneuverable than a refrigerator that's been screwed into the floor, which is essentially the Stalingrad. I mean, it has good forward thrust, but it has horrible turning and horrible maneuverability, and what I believe is the largest turning circle in the game to this point. And when I say that, the Poltava is 1,000. This thing is over 1,100. Alright, we'll lob some shells at the dying Alaska, but he gets killed before they get there, so we'll immediately switch back over to the Conqueror/Iowa side of the map. And my team has chipped in a couple of kills. So right now I thought, hey, we can still win this match. I'll just sit back here and lob these armor-piercing shells at everybody, and our team will pull it out. Boy, how optimistic was I? Yeah. So the Iowa's hiding behind this island here. The Conqueror is in the smoke screen behind the island there, so clearly the destroyer is now located over there. I cannot see anything on the other side of the map. We have a cruiser going up to God knows where all by himself. Boys and girls, I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to denigrate that player, but going out on your own like that is not really recommended, except maybe in a destroyer if you're trying to flank, or if you're trying to flank the people on the board, but I don't know if there's anyone over there for him to flank. I think all the ships over there are dead. At which point it's just like, why are you doing that? Anyway, Wichita comes out from behind the island. Would love to shoot at the Wichita, but he goes dark. So I'm forced to switch back over here. Please, Wichita, come back. Nope, he's not going to come back. We'll switch back to the Conqueror here, giving us a modified angle. And I adjusted my aim in the middle of that salvo, which generally probably isn't a good idea. But again, we are getting a fair amount of ricochets due to the angling. But we aren't having problems penetrating either, especially when you go up to the superstructure. You're going to be able to definitely do some damage on legendary tier ships. Now, the Conqueror definitely doesn't have a lot of great armor. There you can see pens and overpens. I'll have to consider whether I have too much pen or not on this ship. But for right now, I didn't really count the overpens because I didn't, you know, see entire salvos, just overpens. So I'm pretty happy with what we're doing in terms of the gun performance. So we're going to start in reverse again here. Just trying to delay the inevitable. And the Conqueror is really the only target out there for us. He did take a nice hit there from our teammate. And as you can see, his profile there kind of prevented us from doing a lot of damage. Minotaur out here. I think I consider shooting at him, but he's turning away. Then I see a nice juicy target, a broadside Iowa. We will aim for the bow plating. Can we take out a broadside Tier 7 battleship? Yes, we can. 2 hits the Citadel, kill number 2, but the Conqueror takes out our teammate. I only have 1 teammate left. He's in the middle of nowhere. I think he's up at the cap fighting another ship. I just don't know why he would do that, but whatever. So, mano a mano against the Conqueror. And right now, I have the spider sense going off about the destroyer. I'm like, that destroyer's not there anymore. So he turns to give us a little bit of broadside. We're going to punish him here with a pretty good hit. And right about now, I am thinking to myself, you know, we haven't seen that destroyer in a while. And he's got to be doing something. So I don't think he's over here anymore. Over in that smoke cloud. I think he is somewhere else trying to get up alongside of us. And so we were angling a little bit, anticipating that. I hit my sonar, or radar, look who pops up. The Summers. Now I've got ultra AP on this thing. It is not going to matter, Mr. Summers. Sayonara means goodbye. Bunch of overpens, but we kill the Summers for our 3rd kill. But we are not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have not yet begun to fight. My teammate gets killed. It is me against the entire enemy team. And the Conqueror used one of his greater heals, and I was really disappointed to see that, because I'm like, man, I looked away to shoot the Summers, and I look back, and the Conqueror's back at freaking half health. So again, I'm just going to aim slightly above the hull line, try to arc these shells down in. Again, getting some ricochets, but getting some good pens. We're up to 125,000 damage. Sets me on fire. I think I decided to let this one burn for a little bit. Lobbing some more shells. You do have unlimited damage cons, but I just didn't want to get into a situation where one of these other ships started shooting at me and then there was a double fire and I couldn't put it out. So I let this fire burn. Continuing to angle just the first 2 turrets. And you know, something else I'll tell you, even though the turret armor isn't spectacular, I don't think I had a turret disabled in this game, and I don't think I've had a turret disabled in any of the 3 games that I played with Stalingrad to this point. Alright, you can see the enemy ship went into our cap. Not visible on the minimap, so I'm going to keep shooting at the Conqueror, hoping he will give me a little more broadside to work with. Another pretty good hit there. But again, I can't see the other ship yet, so I will divert my attention back to the Conqueror. He sets me on fire there, does some really good damage. As you can see, he got himself a high caliber. Minotaur pops up. I wish I was zoomed in to see how badly that aim was, but we shoot at the Minotaur and we reset the cap. That's it. That was very disappointing to me, especially because I thought he was giving us a good profile. But he's a lot easier target right now than the Conqueror, so I decide I'm going to ignore the Conqueror and I am going to go bow on with him, and I'm going to take my time here aiming at the Minotaur. Now we do unlock the high caliber metal, get another cap reset. I'm pointing my bow directly at the Conqueror and shooting at the Minotaur because the Minotaur is the easiest target. Now you can see we have very low hit points. We do get a Citadel and a couple of cap resets on the Minotaur. And as you can see, bow on, you are able to hazard some shells from a battleship. Don't know if he's shooting HE or not, but he should have been. And we're going to continue to engage this Minotaur and continue to do pretty good damage and continue to weather damage from the front of the ship. So you can do bow tanking if necessary. I think this is the last salvo right here. We only have 13 hit points left. We hazard another salvo from the Conqueror and do a little bit of damage on the way out the door. So disappointing to me that it ended in a loss, but as you can see, we ended up with a high caliber medal, 170,265 total damage, 3 kills, 3 hits to Citadel. We ended up with 378,510 silver and 2652 ship XP and commander XP in a loss. In my opinion, this ship has insanely high damage potential if your teammates do their part. There we are at the top of the board, 1768 in the loss. It is disappointing. You know, the second game I had was a win, but it was kind of a squash match. Unfortunately, at Legendary tiers right now, it seems that all the matches, you're either getting steamrolled or your team is steamrollering the other team. I'll keep playing this ship. If I get a Kraken or a Kraken fail, I will bring it back to you guys. But I think I found a ship I'm going to enjoy doing those Legendary premium missions on, the 7 wins each week. Instead of flipping through all the destroyers, maybe I'll play the Stalingrad for a while, you know? All right, here on the port, we'll take a look at the upgrades. Aiming System Mod 1. I wouldn't recommend any of the other ones. Steering Gears Mod 2, you really need it. This one may be up for debate, steering gears, but I went with Concealment. And then the last one, I took Main Battery Mod 3. I could also see an argument for the gunfire control system. In terms of consumables, you got 3 charges of the radar. You could use the DFAA consumable, but I do not recommend that at all with this ship, and you'll see why. And 3 charges of the repair party. We are running fully packed. I think you need 3. Epic Battle Booster increases the main battery range, the movement speed, and the cooldown time. We got that standard permanent camo. And just for my Reddit viewers, we got the Reddit flag. All right. I can only read this. 65,000 hit points. All right, 65,000 hit points. Got those 3 triple 305 turrets, 20.4 kilometer firing range. I gave you the reload and turn time in the video. I think those numbers match up. 8,800 AP shell damage. You got 6 twin 130 millimeter secondaries, 5.2 kilometer firing range, 4-second reload. And the HE shells do 1,800 damage with an 8% fire chance. So you don't have torpedoes, you don't have HE, you got to do it all with that armor piercing. This is why you don't need DFAA. Your AA rating is 96. Haven't been in a match yet with a carrier, but this thing can definitely protect itself. Max speed, as you see, 36 knots. There it is, the massive 1,130 meter turning circle and a 10-second rudder shift time. And finally, the concealment. 13 kilometers on the surface. I believe that is 8.1 from the air and 11.7 when firing in smoke. Taking a look at the armor viewer. Take it all off. You have that T-shaped above water citadel. The sides of the citadel are more heavily armored. But you definitely do not want to show this profile right here to the enemy, or you will be dead. Don't do that. Don't go broadside. Okay. All right, we'll put this bow back on. You know, you get some different levels of armor here, but the forend plating is 32. I think we all knew that. And then you have an armor belt that's 50 below that. All right, so we were able to bow tank that Conqueror at close range, so you can do some work there. Torpedo armor belt ranges up to 180, and then you can see the torpedo bulge below the waterline is 50 millimeters. These turrets and barbettes are generally pretty armored, but you'll see something wacky. The rear of the turret has 617 millimeters of armor. Why not the front of the turret? Maybe it's a counterbalance to the weight of the guns. Who knows? The roof of the turret, as you can see here, as I flip through, just 125. I think the August von Parzival won't have any problem taking out one of these turrets from the air, unfortunately. All right, we'll put this casemate armor back on and then the superstructure. Let's look at the armor profile of the Stalingrad. All right, here's a look at our commander. Level 16, legendary level 3, Nikolai Kuznetsov. Base trait, increase the main battery range. Really like that one. You got Von Essen for the improved penetration angles and Yamamoto for the improved penetration of the AP. You know, got to go all in on the armor piercing, folks, because that's the only shell type you have. Just one man's opinion. All right, row 1, beyond range. Even more range. We will take it. You don't have HE, so you can't use that. You don't need to improve your AA, so I would not use no fly zone. Row 2, igniter. You don't have HE, so don't choose that. Row 2, before it's too late. Look, you turn so slow, it isn't going to matter. So just choose intuitive like I did. Row 3, more armor piercing, folks. That's right, punch through. We did it. We tripled, doubled, tripled down on the armor piercing. We're doing it. All right, row 4, fixated. Definitely need that shell grouping and dispersion. And then legendary skill, fully packed. We need the extra heal. I'm sorry, that's a look at Stalingrad. Sorry I couldn't get a win for you guys, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. And let me know if you own it in the comments. Thanks.